Hello everybody and welcome back to Europa, where last episode we were working on attacking Salerno, and I still want to do that. That is absolutely a thing that we want to get done. So they're part of the HRE, correct? They are not part of the HRE. Fascinating. Okay, so that's just some of the provinces, though, that may not be part of the HRE. I'm not entirely certain if Salerno themselves is. They are not. So a lot of this over in Italy is not part of the HRE anymore. And that's definitely something that we want to deal with. So for now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to add a province to the HRE. This is all eligible provinces. And you can see here that there are a couple of these that are dashed here. I'm guessing these need to be cored. Let's see. This is not showing up as... I'm not seeing the HRE indicator here. That's interesting. Okay, so this might indicate unlawful territory. Probably. I'm guessing that that's unlawful territory. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Let's proceed for now. I want to check in on where we are in terms of what is this? Diplomatic power? Sure. We'll gain half a point of inflation. That's fine. I want to check in on where we are in regard to making workshops. There's 2 good workshops to make and no good synagogues at this time. Okay, noted. We're making a good amount of money, and we could start working on our corruption a little bit more. Overextension is a big chunk of this, and yeah, I think we probably should. So let's boost this up to be 0.5 again. And that's going to be a lot of our profits going into that. That's understood, but I want this to continue going down at a pretty decent clip. So that looks absolutely fine for now. So if we attacked these guys, they're allied with Apulia, Lesser Benevento, and Thessalonica. They are Orthodox. Okay. So as a hypothetical, what kind of troop count do they have? Noted. So Apulia is over here somewhere. It's these guys. Lesser Benevento is these guys. Okay, that shouldn't be a problem. Thessalonica, that's Greek, isn't it? Yeah, so that's out over here. And they're part of the HRE. So that's noted. They are Orthodox. Interesting. So that means we don't want Thessalonica to continue to exist after this war. They're a little ways away. That might be interesting for aggressive expansion. We'll see what that ends up feeling like. I also think we may want to actually think about getting a bit of a navy before we do this. I know, that's wild. Absolutely an insane thing for me to say. I want a navy? That's nuts. But I kind of do. Specifically, galleys. We can't build too many of them at this moment, but we can get started on that. Lose a stability or gain a corruption? Honestly, I'll gain the corruption over losing a stability right now. We need to get our stability up to rank 3, or rank 1 rather, right? Yeah, so we need to get a little bit more admin power to boost our stability here. That's going to be quite a lot. So that's absolutely noted. We should stop this drilling. And we should get into position to attack Napoli here very soon. This is going to be an interesting war. Mostly due to our lack of navy. I do definitely want to work on at least having a solid Mediterranean fleet. I think that's going to be necessary. So that's absolutely fine. We can work on attacking these mainland units for now, and then Thessalonica is going to be a whole thing. We could try to get land access to it, but that's a lot of places. That said, most of this is going to be in the HRE, isn't it? It is. So we could land in Lika and then just walk over here because they're part of the Empire, which means during times of war, they're required to give us military access. That's interesting. Okay, so at this point, we can fabricate our claim here. We could have done it before. They're not part of the HRE. I went to 30. Okay, it's fine. We needed to build up some time anyway. That's fine. So at this point, I do want to take Napoli. And we can see who all will join this. That's absolutely fine. We cannot confirm this because we don't have any diplomats to send. Okay, let's pull back this diplomat for now. That's absolutely fine. And I want to declare this war. So we're going to do so. We're going to take Napoli. And we can see what the fort situation over here is. And it's not great. I want these guys to continue drilling for now. And we are... Venice is raised up. Lika is raised up. I think I'm going to mothball Venice, but keep the fort in Lika raised. And we have this fort in Tabuk that should be mothballed. Okay. Something like that. We can call in allies. Do we want to? Actually, kind of. Ancona is... Well, we might call them in later. Let's see how this goes. So, Apulia, yeah, there's going to be 4 forts over here to siege. That's going to take a little bit of time. We'll recall our diplomat from Lebanon. That's absolutely fine. Okay, I'm just looking at their troop count here. They're heading off this way. They're heading to Venice. I'm pretty sure. Rebels here. That's hilarious. So if they're leaving... That's pretty much their whole army, right? They've got like 35,000, call it. This is pretty close to a little over half of their army here. When we factor this in, that's definitely around half of their army. Or like 2/3 almost. They're not making any progress here. So that seems reasonably fine. Yeah, they're going to attack Venice. That's okay. I don't mind it. And then they're coming over here. So, to that end, how much do we need to actually siege this? 6. I'm going to shift consolidate this, and then we're going to move out cannon, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then these guys, we're going to come up here and start doing some fighting. So I want to walk up over this way. They got a wall breach in Venice already? They already took over Venice. Okay, that was wild. I think that's because we had it mothballed, but that's very awkward. We could walk around to here, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to bypass Venice. This is fine. So we're going to come over and fight these guys. The nobility are being jerks. This would be in Damascus. This is fine. So, noble rebels out over here. That's absolutely a-okay. We'll make our way on up. When will we arrive here? We'll arrive here on 30 November. Nope, we gotta wait. Now we'll arrive after the month tick. So that looks good. And we've got our troops on the way over here. So we're going to catch part of their force. That's a big deal. We just took a bank loan. That's not ideal, but it's fine. This is less fine, though. So these guys are currently attacking here. So we did get those guys out of there. We won that. But we need to make our way back over this way. And we're a long ways away. So, here's the question. Do we want to give up on this siege? Put these guys in the boat. They've got a fleet here, though. This seems like the time to call in Ancona. We'll call in Pula. And we'll call in Ancona. Perfect. So with those forces here, that's going to make it much... Oh, we just took out some forces here, too. Oh, look at these guys. That was an awkward initial roll there. What have they got going on? I mean, we're superior to them in every way. I think we just rolled really, really badly on that first roll. Okay, so that looks good. We'll do that. And there are these guys out over here. We can continue to fight them. And these guys have decided not to go after our siege force because of Ancona's forces here. So that looks good. So we're winning this battle here. Excellent. And I want to come back over this direction now. So we can't get to Venice. That's fine. I'm not terribly concerned about that. But this is why I want a Mediterranean fleet. For this sort of shenaniganery. Okay, let's make our way back over here. We know that they're probably going to do some sieging up over this direction, and that's absolutely fine. But I want to come and do some sieging of our own out over this way. As expected, this is a kind of awkward war, but we pretty much knew that that was going to happen. So for the moment, I'm reasonably okay with this. So there's a bunch of cores finishing. And whatever happened down here? Ah, this is good. Okay. So these guys, they can just chill here and get back to drilling. Now, one thing that I want to check in on is these rebel uprisings. So Etruria is not a thing. Syria is. And that'll be very, very soon. So actually, these guys should not be continuing to drill at this moment. Okay. So we've got our allies running around out over here. I'm hoping that they're going to come take back Venice and deal with this situation up here. It looks like that is indeed what they're going to do. Now, we can always back off of this siege and come to the rescue of these guys, which is why this force is not attacking us. The Georgian crisis. They're of Jewish religion. Okay, cool. So that seems absolutely fine. Okay, there's those Syrian separatists. They're up over here. Okay, looks fine. Our royal marriage with Ancona is over. I don't really care all that much. We got a breach over here. This role has not been going well in Napoli, so we'll see what happens with that. Ancona has decided not to attack Thessalonica over here. It's a little awkward, but I guess it's fine. Okay, so we can gain some prestige here. That's definitely a good thing to do. Ooh, that was a good roll. That was only 14% chance. So now what I want to do is I want to come up over here. There's Orthodox Zealots in Ancona right now, and we're going to want to deal with those. But I want to have these guys come take this over. And do we actually want to deal with these Orthodox Zealots? Not really, but I'm going to do it anyway. So let's get that dealt with. Okay. Now we want to come over here. We're not making progress here. So what do we need? 9? 9. Okay. So we're going to shift consolidate, and I'm going to move over. We know that we currently have 7 here. So we want to move like 3 of these, but these are all low strength regiments. That's understood. We're going to move them in there, and I'd love it if we could come in and fight these guys at Salerno. But that's not going to happen. So we're going to come back up over here where we can reinforce this. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift consolidate this again, and we're going to move out these 3. And we're going to swap these with 3 full-strength regiments, like this. Okay. I was hoping to catch these down here with our stronger regiments, but it didn't happen, so we're just putting those into the siege. So Orthodox Zealots have risen up in Spoleto. We can go deal with that and then immediately make our way back, like this. That might leave this siege open, though. We'll see. Okay, so Ancona came in and helped us here. That's great. They're not actually making any siege progress here. So things are looking okay as far as this war goes, but as expected, this is a slightly awkward war. We knew that this would be the case. Okay, what is the siege? Irrelevant at this moment. We can get a new idea. I don't think we should. We are only 2 years ahead of time in tech right now, and there's that colonialism situation. This is not really spread to any of our territory yet, so we don't really have any ability to embrace colonialism. It'll get here eventually. But it's not here yet. 127.7 ducats. Sorry, rabbis. I'm going to have to say no to that one. Okay, so how much are we going to end up getting here? 15? Okay, so that definitely needs to do some reinforcement. This siege is over, which means we can now piece out Lesser Benevento. That'd be great to do. I do want to... I'm wondering where their troops are. Are they here in Salento? Are they in Lucania? I genuinely don't know. Let's move here and... Okay, there they are. I'm glad I didn't split up our forces. So we ended up stack wiping that. I'm going to move these guys back to Capitania. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to piece out Capitania immediately. So Lesser Benevento, these guys. They would not currently accept this, and this would create a coalition. This would be 58.3 AE. That's very significant. Maybe we should just fabricate a claim on them. That's definitely a thing we could do. So if we come down over here, we can also build a spy network here and start working on that. And then as far as this goes, we can't fabricate any more claims. Oh, we can't start to fabricate claims against someone we're at war with. Okay, never mind. That's not going to be a thing. So we need to shift consolidate this. We need to move out these 2 units, and we need to swap those with full strength units here in order to continue this siege. Okay, there we go. So that looks good for now, and that siege is going to take some time. I would go siege Salerno if this army wasn't right here, and unfortunately they are. So that's, you know, going to be mildly problematic for us. If these guys aren't part of the HRE, we can vassalize them, can't we? Hang on, I just realized that. That would be a really, really, really good thing to do. Let's pull back our diplomats, since we're not going to get anything out of that anyway. And let's just move this over to being just Lesser Benevento. So instead of taking this outright, we can make this be our vassal. This is less aggressive expansion. Syria, Medina, Apulia, Calabria. We probably don't care. Yeah, I don't think we care about that. So we're going to take their gold, and we're going to vassalize them. That seems perfect. This is... whose forces are these? This is not Lesser Benevento. This is Apulian forces. Okay, that's fine. Let's send this demand. We'll let that start ticking down. Next, I would very much like to get this siege underway. Denmark unrivaled us, as did Aragon. Okay. They're both no longer valid rivals. So that's interesting. Now, I would definitely like to come to Lesser Benevento and start improving relations with them. We want to get relations up with them as quickly as possible. I would also love to see these sieges finish up. We'll see what happens with that. These Thessalonican armies are black-flagged. As are these Apulian armies. That's interesting. I'm not entirely sure what they've got going on there. So we just lost our leader that was here. We're going to have to get a new one, and to that end, I'm going to send this army back to friendly territory. And we can see there's a lot of forces building up over here. That's a potential concern. We do need to recruit a general, and that was a pretty mediocre general, but okay. Back we come with our general. And the question is, what would we do if they attacked here? The answer is panic. That's what we would do. We need to start moving over this way immediately. Land movement blocked by hostile fort? What do you mean we can't get here? Maybe we can't yet. Now we can. Okay. So we're just going to pile in here. They're going to be blocked by the forts here and here, so that's not a big concern. Nothing really going on up over here, so I'm content with that for the moment. Okay. So we're going to vassalize these guys as well, almost certainly, and then I think we'll outright take this territory. And then the question is, what are we going to do about Thessalonica? So Thessalonica is a different situation. We cannot vassalize them because that requires more than 100% of war score. So that's noted. I'm wondering if there's not a way that we can force their religion to change. And we can't take all of their territory because that would be 103 as well. We may just have to leave them be for the time being. Okay, Urbanese separatists in Roma. I'm not terribly concerned about that. Our ally may handle that. We'll see. Eventually, this fort will fall, right? We keep having very awkward rolls on these forts. We need to definitely bring up our cannon backline. There's no doubt about that. We need to improve our fire. At least we got a little bit of progress over here. That's something. Okay, what do we got going on this phase? Absolutely nothing. Cool. So they're sieging up over this way, and that's actually a really good thing for us. I'm going to shift consolidate this, and we're going to split off... Well, actually, I'm going to do it this way. We're going to split off our cannon and 9 units like that. So you're going to have 15 units that are going to come up here. We'll be the defender. We have allies in the area. Oh, they actually really messed up. They really messed that up. Okay, they should not have done that. We just significantly stack wiped them. Now, we can't move back to here due to this fort, but we can move up over here. That was a very significant development there. We could also move up and take care of these troops here, and I want to do that. Palestinian... Who... Salerno pieced out with Ancona? Okay. Ancona's these guys. That's a little awkward. In fact, that's significantly awkward. Well, we do need to address our situation of rooting out corruption. We're rooting out too much corruption right now, and we're going to put that there. That'll help our finances. And we're going to be able to get these locations back. That'll also help out our finances significantly. We do have access now to our next admin tech. We're still 1 year ahead of time. We should wait until January, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. So that's back under control. We're going to walk down over here. Because we really, really want this to finish off. Let's see here. Trade efficiency plus 15% or 433 ducats. How long would this last? 10 years? I'm not sure what would be better here. Let's assume it's just a 15% increase. 8 times 1.15 minus 8.81. I shouldn't have done it that way, but whatever. That'd be 1.32 ducats per month for 10 years, so that would be 20. So that would only be 158.58 ducats right now. We should demand this. We're going to take that, and that will allow us to repay any existing loans. And that will definitely help our finances. Beautiful. So we're about to see this fort fall at very long last. And it's now January. So what that means is that we should grab our admin tech. We'll be ahead of time for the next 13 years. That looks good. And we should grab our diplomatic tech. We'll be ahead of time for the next 13 years. That looks good. We don't have the military power for this mil tech yet. So we should absolutely get that as soon as we can, but we can't do it yet. The HRE just forced our ally to break their alliance with us. That's very rude. What's the siege? Irrelevant. Not entirely irrelevant. Mostly irrelevant. Okay, so Bari finally fell. We need to come in here, group our forces together, and we need to attack here. Perfect. Okay, so that's now done. What we need next is we need to deal with this situation. So we need to shift consolidate this. I'm going to put cannon, and I'm going to assume that this is a relatively powerful fort over here as well. And then we're going to move just these two out to here. Fort zone of control. Awkward. Well, hopefully our ally will flip this to us, but it doesn't matter either way. We're planning on vassalizing this, so that's fine. Okay, so back we go. Excellent. And our ally did flip it to us, but again, that's irrelevant. So Apulia here. We want to make them be our vassal if we can. Just Apulia. Tebesti would stop being a subject of Apulia and would become our subject. Where's Tebesti? What? Junior partner. Okay. Well, that's Interesting. Are they a free city? They are part of the HRE. No, they're not a free city. They are Orthodox, so they're a heretic prince. So we can't make them our full vassal for Apulia. And the reason is because that would cost 114% war score. But we can transfer this guy to us, and we can take one of their provinces. It would be this one. There's some angry people about it, but I'm not sure that we care, to be honest. And 100 ducats. And war reparations. They wouldn't accept the war reparations? How far away are they? 60 reasons? Okay. We can just abandon the war reparations idea. That's fine. I don't actually care that much about the war reps. So this is absolutely okay. I think that we'll do this. There's going to be some angry people about all this, to be clear. So that looks fine. We'll need to core that, and we can become the Defender of the Faith. We'll need to core this. That'll take some time. Now, as far as Thessalonica goes, we'll turn our ire on them shortly. Okay, I kind of thought this was coming. So the HRE just declared war on us. This is unsurprising. I want to take a look at what we've got. They're Miltech 9, and we're Miltech 8, so that definitely needs to have something done. So that means that we need to piece out of this existing war basically as soon as we can. We're deeply, deeply unsurprised about this, right? So if we were to hypothetically take all of this, they wouldn't give it to us, but if we were to hypothetically do this, who all would be angry? Okay, so that's noted. This would cost a lot of admin power to core. And we just want to get out of this war as soon as we can, I think. We're in a decent position, I think, to be able to fight the HRE. Believe it or not. I think. And apparently, this is the time that my work phone decides to remind me that I didn't turn the ringer off. I apologize for that. We're right at the end of the episode here, and hopefully it will stop. Go away. Okay, perfect. So, here's the thing. We need to get out of this war, and we need to do it, like, right now. So, we need to probably not take this province. This is a thing I'm not terribly concerned about. So we're going to take some money here, and we're going to send this demand. There we go. Now, these guys, they're going to walk northward here. So we're out of that war. The only war that we're now in is the one with the HRE. We need to move this army up to Italy in order to contest the HRE. What's their war goal? Their war goal is to take Venice. Okay. The HRE is got quite a lot of coastline up here for sure. They're kind of the big boss, right? And they've got 103k troops. They've got a Miltech on us, so we need to be recruiting fairly heavily. So down over this direction, this is not cored, but up over this way, I'm going to immediately recruit an Eastern militia, and I'm going to do one down here as well. Who all is in this war? Okay. So we've got some friends. Corsica, Maghreb, and Viennois? Probably Viennois. So that's out over here. Corsica is these guys. Okay. Interesting situations here. No doubt about it. So I want to get some recruitment going. We're going to need to recruit fairly heavily here. So let's kick forward for about a month. But we knew that this was probably happening. Syria entered into a military coalition against us. That's definitely expected. Okay, so we're going to group these guys together. We need to celebrate a festival. I think this is absolutely a good thing to do right now. We need to do some coring. This is very, very necessary. And we're also going to need to get that mill tech as soon as we can. So we're just waiting a little bit here. This is going to be on 4 July that's going to be fielded. Noted. Yeah, a lot of people are going to be entering into military coalitions against us for the moment, and that's absolutely understood. So we can see that there's a Corsican fleet right here. So for the moment, I just want to bring these guys down to here. Yes, military coalitions are expected. Keep in mind, we have insane manpower growth. So that's absolutely a big deal. Maybe not as good as the HRE's manpower growth right now. We'll find out. But what we want to do here is we want to recruit a full extra army. And we're probably going to have to go pretty in debt to get this dealt with, to be clear. So I want to bring this up to 22, like that. So that's going to recruit a full extra army out over this way. And we're going to do the same exact thing right here. So this should deal with a significant portion, and I'm actually going to go in here and take a loan right now. This should deal with a No, I don't want to exit. Get out of here. This should deal with a significant portion of those military coalitions, with us doubling our military strength very, very quickly. So that looks good for now, but next episode, we're going to have to fight the HRE, and if we can take some territory from them, carve into their alliances a little bit, that's going to be a big deal. Now, they're going to take over Venice, and that's obnoxious, to be sure. That's their war goal, but we'll see what we can do as far as fighting them goes. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.